Good afternoon, YouTube. Me always George Page, aka the Emperor of Female Body Talk, coming to you live on YouTube. Well, folks, it was a busy weekend for bodybuilding. We had a couple of shows. One show that I think got the most attention is one of the biggest shows outside of the United States, and that is the Toronto Super Show. Show's been around for a long time. The past years, it's kind of been, not a lot of bodies like it was, I think, back in it didn't have in 2020 because of the pandemic, because Canada shut down. And then the last three shows, this is the third show. After that, there's only been 4 female competitors for women's bodybuilding. Problem is, like I said, travel, cost, expense. Even before the pandemic, I know one lady I did an interview with who previous show, Melina Perron. She told me how it took her 2 weeks to get back in, 2 weeks to get back out Canada, and that's tough. But now with the restrictions lifted in Canada, but the thing is, still, it's a cost to do the trip. You have a passport because you go into another country. I was hoping maybe see some more bodies. I mean, especially some ladies just did New York. Maybe this was a great show, maybe a good qualification. But the ladies that did pretty good, looked pretty impressive. A couple ladies who I follow on social media. One lady's I consider a good friend of mine, Miss Tana Huey. One lady did an interview a while back, Mrs. Melina Smith. Williams. Sorry, Williams. And she's Melina Perron, but she's Melina Williams, but she got married right after she did the Vancouver Island Pro Show. As you know, right here, we have my partner in crime, my ace Boone Coon, the hand of the Emperor, Jen.
Hand is here.
The hand is here. The hands had a little rough weekend, but we're glad he's here because you know what? Like I said earlier to him, hey, son, if it wasn't for bad luck, he had no luck at all. But I'm glad he's here, and I'm glad he's part of the show. We hope we have a good discussion here. And we just had somebody that's popped in, another special guest. I'm gonna bring him in. He's a troublemaker. You better mind his place or you lose his face. It's the man KLA, the Wanderer. Yo, KLA.
What's up? Y'all hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
What's up? All right.
What's up? All right.
Yeah, I'm just chilling. I'm all right. I'm all right.
All right. That's cool. We got my man here, Sean Millen. He says, "Good afternoon, George. Good afternoon, Sean. Thank you for coming through, brother." So anyway, like I said, it's been a pretty busy weekend for women's bodybuilding, also for physique, because there was another show at the same time as the actually the day before the Toronto, and that was that Saturday had the Omaha Pro. As you know, last year Omaha kicked out women's bodybuilding because they only had 2 competitors. That was the year that Danielle Willis won her qualification for the Olympia. I'm kind of disappointed. I hope maybe next year to bring it back. because one time you used to have some more divisions in there, but the last couple of years I think there was some issues money wise and this and that, and it's one of the only shows where it's had exclusively women's physique. So we'll talk about that show a little bit later, but we'll get into Toronto Pro. I didn't watch the live stream because, like I said, I live on a budget and sometimes can't always spend money on something like that. Every now and then, if it's reasonable within reason, I will. But every now and then, it's all depending. So anyway,
How much that cost?
I think it was about nearly $40.
$70.
Oh, okay, that ain't too.
$70.
All right, that ain't too.
$70.
How much?
Yes.
That's if you just
for both prejudging and finals.
Oh, so for the whole show.
You said $7?
70.
No.
70. You said 70. You got to pay for the
70. I don't know if I'm gonna watch that.
No. I gotta pay for it. Should I know some shows will just charge you just for both everything, but then you gotta pay for the prejudging and the finals. And I think
I had to pay for my phone bill.
Well, my phone bill cost me too much, but that's the thing is. But they did have a show before that. They had the pro qualifier. I don't think they had women's bodybuilding that show for the pro qualifier, but I know only I follow. She competed at that show. Special luck to her. As you notice it again, there was only 4 competitors for this show, and I thought maybe some more would jump on. But as I was talking with one lady, said the cost of traveling to Canada, you got to get your passport, all of that. And that's the thing I keep talking about, how it's tough for these ladies. Especially don't have no sponsorship. Unless you're really popular, when you get some sponsors, or you have good amount of income coming in, that can help you out. But just all of that. My man Sean McMillan says, Judy Wetzel looked amazing. I think she'll do well in the Miss Olympia. All depending. From other people, she may not. People I know. Also, he says, I was surprised that Melina Perron placed dead last, where you only have 4 women, so somebody had to be dead last. I remember the year where Tana competed back in 2021. She was dead. He was like, Tana was 4th, and she didn't like being 4th. He says this. He says Tana Huey was. Says Tana Huey was impressive, and she looked. I think she really, really looked a lot better from when she competed at the Vancouver Island show. She looked good in Vancouver. But if this show was a little more deep, I wonder how well she would do it. I mean, we had like at least 3 or 4 more competitors. Would she be at 3rd place or a little bit lower? Maybe. It's all about this. But it still was a decent show. Also, Teresa Vosick did a show, and I was one of the people that I felt like Teresa was going to win this show, but she did. She took 2nd, and I think Teresa, I don't know, maybe she's not really making any real gains. She has a great back. But from the picture I saw, she hadn't really made a lot of gains, especially in the legs. She has a great look that's a little bit more feminine than people like to see, but she's still, she has a great back, but just hadn't really made the gains, like in size. Condition was a little bit, from what I saw. Well, some people were saying that earlier that when they watched the prejudges today, the lighting was really bad. It looked kind of reddish, so it kind of made it look like they looked like. Made them look at made their tanning look like they're washed out. I mean, when sometimes you see a picture and you look like it's just something like it's kind of faded or something like that or whatever. It's just how they look. But I did pull up. Went on to the Toronto. What? Hello? You say something?
No, I wanted to ask a question. How Teresa, hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Oh, I can't tell if you can hear me or not.
I can hear you.
All right. How long has Teresa Invicek, what's her last name?
Invasic.
How long Teresa have been been a pro?
He's only a pro barely.
2017.
How
Yeah.
long she been a pro?
2017.
Yeah, just almost 6 years.
Oh, ain't that long.
Nah, her. I think her first pro show, I believe I'm trying to remember, I think she took second or she won the Norfolk Pro. I remember that was a year that Tisha Thomas was in that show. Tisha got, I think Tisha got second or third, somewhere not winner. And she felt like she should get. I teach. I think she should get first, but I'm just being prejudiced because I would consider her a good friend of mine. But Teresa, she hadn't really made a lot of gains ever since. She remember was about a couple of years ago. She took a step back. She did physique for about a minute. She only did that one show that was Chicago. And the thing is, if she went back to physique now, I think she'd do well because if you look at the girls now coming up in physique, she has more to taper waist in. She's not gonna get the size. There's one thing, she doesn't have a lot of quad development. Like Emily Schubert just won the Ultima. I mean, so the Omaha, she has bigger quads than Teresa. He's back in. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. My man, Charlotte Miller says Judah was my pick to win after placing second at Vancouver and New York. Nice to see another new face in the Miss Olympia. Yeah, we can always use new faces. So this year it's gonna be. But like I said, I'm gonna pull up a little. I went up to the I went to the Toronto Super Show page on IG, and there's a little clip of them doing their. This is I think it was the finals. And I'll pull it up here quick. There it is. And it's a little. Yeah, it's a little small little clip. And if I look at it, I wish it was a little more because this is just a little clip. But Teresa, from looks like she had make a lot of gains. Maybe just me. Like I said, this is from a distance, not up close. It's only like a short little clip. But I think she still needs some things to work on. She probably, I don't know why. I know she took 7th at the Chicago back in 2021 in men's physique. But if she had took the time and maybe twerk a few things, like one thing is, you do physique, you might have to pull back a little size because many physique girls not as big, but they are someone with good size. But you have to come in conditioning. And there is here. There it is. This is pictures, and seeing the places. You have Melina right here at the end, and she was 4th. Teresa right here, and you can see around about the quads, not as much size. Julia right here, and Julia's a little taller, and right here the person who's holding their arms up is Mona Pursley, and I'm wondering, you think Mona could have done this show?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I know she'll live in Canada anymore, but I would have, if I was her, I would have. If Mona came in good condition and done the show, I think she could have won. I mean, it's kind of like the same situation with when she was at Savannah last year. She looked in good condition. She was just guest posing. I think she decided just to go ahead and do the show because no longer don't have the Women's Strength Ambassador program. A lot of these ladies are out there on their own now, and that's one thing that helped a lot of competitors because many ladies who were doing some of these shows were part of the ambassador program. They were able to make money from doing, the booths and stuff, and was able maybe to help with their cost to travel and stuff like that. But now with that gone, but I'm looking here at Tana. Tana looked amazing. Look at her quads. She's still a little bit thick around the waist, and that thing that can hurt her a bit. And also, she does both. There's one thing about both Tana and Melina; they both had kids. And that midsection part where there's kind of like you see that where you have when women have babies, and usually most times, if you're going to have the scarring from the stretch marks, and
Hey,
both Melina.
go ahead. No, I had a question, but you could finish what you were saying.
Yeah, well, where both Molina and Tanner have those stretch marks. That sometimes the judges might, critique that, but they both look great. Like I think have great quad development between the both of them because Molina has amazing quads. Um, and there's maybe some more competitors. I think she wouldn't mind coming in a little at fourth because you know what. But then also the thing is now with Portis was gone because Molina she
I still had
was
the question. I was trying to wait
wait
for
wait wait
you.
wait wait. Yeah, wait.
Oh,
I'll stop. All right. All right. When you hear me stop, you can ask the question. Okay.
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 All right.
Yeah, you learn. All right. All right, folks. I just had to put me in this place. But I think with if there was still the point system, because Molina took third at the Vancouver Island show, and most definitely with Tammin, she took fourth for that show, and then now they kind of switched places with I think they would have had a good amount of points to make qualify for Olympia, but we all know why they get with point system. Use the excuse for saying there's too many competitors at shows, but that's some BS to me. So now you can ask your question.
Oh, thank you. I don't know if this is relevant or not, but I wanted to know like what made Teresa a second place
Could be
compared
a
to the
number.
other women that because the one that's next to her, I see her quads is bigger than hers, and I don't know, is it because of her back? That's why she got like second place, or
Well, her back usually is something that has won Teresa shows in the past. It could be anything. It could be that she wasn't as dense enough. It could be that, like I said again, she doesn't have a lot of size and developing her quads and her legs. She has a great back, great shoulders, but her lower half is her biggest weakness. She has a good taper, but not enough size in the quads.
And
That could be.
that probably is what did her in because Julia White sold, if my memory serves correctly, when I saw her at New York Pro, her quads, her back, glutes area were probably the best conditioned of any of the competitors.
mm,
And that's probably what we get at Julia because Julia's a little bit. I mean, Julia's like about 5'9" because I know she's, and I think Teresa's like about 5'6", maybe I think she's about 5'7" because she's a pretty tall woman. From pictures I've seen of her, and and Julia she really put on some size, being that she hadn't competed since 2021, and she was physique, and that's which of women's bodybuilding. We got here my man Sharp Millen.
mm.
He's saying this. He says Teresa Vossick has a nicely conditioned, symmetry look, but I think she's a bit swelled up by the bigger girls,
Swallowed.
or swallowed. Sorry, thank you, by the bigger girls such as Andrea, Sherry, and Julia. Well, I would say Andrea's not one of the biggest girls. She just has the overall everything. She has good size in the legs, good back, good shoulders, good depth. She has a full muscle bellies. Sherry, Sherry's not that big if you look at her. You know, she has good, density in the shoulders and the back. Still a bit undersized in the legs. And with Julia, she does have the height. But I won't say bigger girls. I think it's just that maybe she was off on the conditioning. And also, yeah, she's a bit, it's a bit small in the legs. That's why she went over the physique for half a minute
Mm.
because, we'll actually have a second and see how she do there. She should have stayed a little longer. And maybe, she did, because I remember seeing pictures of Teresa used to be a lot bigger. And then after she turned pro, she started to really try to, turn it down a little bit because she, be more feminine. She dropped a good amount of size. Her back is still a good bit, but not as big as it used to be. She kind of reminded me of someone like Evie Rain. We look something like Evie Rain. Evie Rain's about 5'6", 5'7". She has this big back, small legs. The reason why Evie don't do as well as she should because she has a big back. Once you have too big in the traps, too big in the shoulders. That's why someone like her or Ann Moon could maybe do women's bodybuilding, but they're still a little lacking. I think Ann has a little more, overall. She can probably, if you can put, I think I got a picture of Ann Moon with I think I had one somewhere. I'll look it up if I find it. But I had a picture of Ann Moon side by side with Julia Wessel, and that was from the Vancouver Island show.
Mm.
And you can really see there are some, some slight, because because like I said, Julie was physique for a little while, and she switched towards bodybuilding. You know, here he says also this. Teresa Vasquez has a nicely conditioned symmetry look, but the bigger girls seem to be ruling the roost for this year. Well, it's bodybuilding. It's supposed to be about the bigger girls. That's what it is. Symmetry, that's physique. You know, if you want good symmetry, that's physique. That's the point of physique. Bodybuilding should be about the size, about the bigger girls. You know, that's why this should be the criteria separates bodybuilding from physique. You know, and that's just what it is. I mean, if the bigger girl's going to beat the smaller girls, that's the purpose of it. You know, either the smaller girls get bigger, or go to physique. That's the two choices they really have. If you're not going to feel like you want to get bigger, then just go ahead and go to physique. You know, you're too large for figure, and you're not going to fit in wellness. So I was just staying physique and see how you do. You can go to women's bodybuilding, but then if you feel like it's getting swallowed by the smaller girls, then you just not doing what's enough to do. I know the thing is you don't want to push too much of a certain muscle enhancements or whatever to get that size, but if you want to beat the big girls, you got to bring in, and condition is just not enough. Size is also, that's why you need separate criteria between bodybuilding and physique. That's what I talked with some lady before. He says, hopefully there's a bigger turnout for the show next year. Well, hope so too. But the thing again, the cost of traveling to another country, because that's Canada. That's one thing that really is the cost of traveling. If some of these ladies, like I said again, if some of these ladies had sponsors to back them up a little bit, and sponsor their travels and take care of stuff like that, you probably see more women do this show. But like I said, not enough. I was hoping, thinking maybe someone like Donna Salib would do the show, and because she did New York, or Renee Marvin, or even the who else I'm trying to think of who did New York, that could have done this show. A couple of ladies back of my head, Tawana Smith, but I don't know where they stay at. If they stay, like I know with Donna, she lives in Kentucky, and I know Renee lives in Arizona, so that's a good distance to go take a plane and back, and then because unless you're somebody who live closer, like Keisha Oliver, she lives in Wisconsin, and Wisconsin not too far from Canada. Get across the border here and there. You probably could have made it, but it's all about because she did get the Vancouver Island show. Hope she doesn't do just that one show and don't see her again. I think if Keisha was there, it's a good chance that Keisha probably would have got second. I feel because she does have a bit more size, and the condition is pretty good compared to someone like Teresa Vasek. So we get here, my man Marcus Bell. Salute all the way to your page coming through, smashing that like. Thank you, Marcus. Shout out to my man Marcus Bell from the CS Combat Sports family. Now, I am also dip into the physique division, and the lady just made it. She's a Canadian bodybuilder by the name of Emilia. Emilia Martek. I'm gonna call her Miss Martek. I mispronounced her name, and she competed in quite a few shows. She did the Vancouver Island show in April. She did the Alicia St. Louis and did the Ultimate Classic. That's 3 shows. And then now she won her qualification at the Vancouver show now. And she was pretty impressive, how she's going to do. I think she has the look that they want to see more in physique. They want to get away from the girls who are coming too big and too massive. And, one lady took for this show, I did an interview a while back, is Elisa Coppolino. And, Elisa had competed for nearly 4 years. I think she competed since 2019. She competed at the Ultimate Classic about a couple weeks ago. And then she lives in Canada, so she did the show in Toronto. Then there's a lady who took 5th. That is Natalie Thompson. And Natalie's competed at the Master Show this coming up in August. Now, some people were really surprised about this one lady taking 3rd, and that is Amandi Coley, and some feel like Amandi would probably either won the show or get placed a little higher. She hadn't competed since the Pittsburgh Pro, and there's a lot of people saying that she goes to women's bodybuilding. But I'm looking at Amandi, but she doesn't have enough size for women's bodybuilding. She's still young because I think she's just 26, maybe 20, 25 or 26. She's still in her good part of her 20s. Her body hasn't really developed yet because you're still in your 20s. Your metabolism is still budding. Your body's still moving. You're still growing, and usually you don't start slowing down until you reach about to your mid 30s, where you can really put on the size and the mass. One lady here from Britain, her name is Ramona. I'm not gonna say her last name. She took second. She was pretty impressive. This was her pro debut, and the winner is Miss Martek. And Miss Martek competed at the Island Show last year. She did Vancouver. She did the Toronto show last year. And this was her fourth show, and she finally got her qualification. It looked very impressive. What do you think of these ladies, guys? I know a lot of you guys don't follow physique girls that much, but what do you think of some of these ladies?
Yeah, they look good. Yeah, I mean, conditioned as any I can see from a pro show, at least from that distance.
Mm-hmm.
Do you notice any differences? Like,
If you
The
pay attention,
size and condition,
Yeah.
no, there is some difference.
yeah, that's the difference between women's bodybuilding and women's physique.
no,
'Cause-
no, I'm just saying, like, out of these women that I'm seeing, that's what I'm trying to say.
Well,
Just
other
to
than
ask.
just other than the fact that they're ages. I think Miss Natalie. I think she's in her late 40s, early 50s. Coley, like I said, she's very young. She's like just 25, 26. With Elisa, she's I think in her 30s, and many ladies are.
I gotta be Pacific. I'm talking about the physique wise.
That's what
That's
That's what you say. He said that conditioning and size is a big difference.
oh,
That's what because
I
there's a
thought
big
he
difference.
was talking about bodybuilding or
No, he's
something.
talking about physique. He said there's a big difference between
Oh,
conditioning size and women's bodybuilding and women's physique. If you look at some of the girls, like especially in the legs, they don't have a lot of density. You look at somebody, if you compare somebody like
no, I'm talking about like in the stage with the women. That's what I'm trying to say.
that's
Like,
what we talk.
that's what y'all. Okay, all right.
Yeah, yeah. Just try to catch up if you can. But yeah, there is a difference if you pay attention. Most times, if you look at female bodybuilders, they're going to be a lot more bigger in the shoulders, a lot broader. They have those muscle bellies. Physique girls are going to be a little leaner, but sometimes where your body's developing, I've seen physique girls who have lats better than some female bodybuilders. I've seen some physique girls who have quads bigger than like something like we were talking about earlier. Emily Schubert, she has quads bigger than some women in women's bodybuilding. You know, and they have the more what you call the more tapered in waist. You know, and that's
Mm.
what the judges want. They want to see the women to have a little bit more taper, better quality. It's just all about what they it's what the critiques need set for.
What
That's
you
why
mean by taper? I don't.
well you want that V taper look, how where the look from the front, where how the lower part of the body, right under the arms, from the shoulders, where it's like a V shape. You know how V shape is, where it's wide on
Okay.
top and
All
gets
right.
narrow when it
Yeah.
gets to the bottom.
All right.
You know,
Hey,
that's
I
what we
got
want to.
a
George.
long way to go, fellas. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. What?
Hey, George. Unfortunately, I'm gonna have to go. Going to the bank at the moment, but continue this discussion. Hopefully, I can see the replay soon and give you a more in-depth detail because they haven't posted the replay yet. And we will discuss this further.
Yeah. Always that's true because they haven't even
Peace out,
posted
everybody.
pictures. Peace
Peace
out,
out,
sis.
man.
They haven't even
Peace out.
posted the pictures, yeah.
Yeah, because if it's matters to the
Next
pictures for
week
this
we'll,
show.
but next week we'll have a full in-depth discussion. Peace out.
Yeah. I'll see you later.
All right.
All right. Thank you from my man Hannah, the Emperor Jin. We got here my man Laura coming through. Laura says, my friend George. Hey, Laura's from Canada. I bet you he was at the show. Laurie, you see Link, you want to come on, brother? You were probably at the show. It
Yeah,
says,
you
"Hope
got a
you're
lot
well."
of friends, man. You got a lot of
Yeah,
people following you.
people follow me because I talk about something they like. Hope you're well, George. I didn't have the chance to go to the Toronto Pro since it was no expo next time. Yeah, that's all right, brother. Because they like to go to expo. That's when they have expo, meaning have people come there's products like that just to show. So that's why the
Yeah.
show probably so sorry, Laura. Maybe next time, maybe get an expo together because that's what some people like to go to the expos and do meet and greets and talk to people and like that. But anyway, but that's the difference between physique and women's bodybuilding. There's a certain look they want. The idea of women's physique is to go back to throwback of women's bodybuilding. Like the good example is like, Linda Murray, Corey Everson, Kim Javeski, those women back in the day. And but the thing is that like women's bodybuilding, it's evolving. Some of these women, that's why you see women going up to physique now. Like Julia Wetzel, she was a physique competitor. I believe who else I'm trying to think of. Sherry Prioli was a physique competitor. You see, it's only been like I said, see Julia Sherry, a couple others, and Andrea, she was a physique competitor.
Right.
It's about how the body's developing and the
No,
condition
I
they're bringing in.
understand. I mean, I just, in that picture, I just couldn't tell the difference, like a little bit, like, because they seem like they have like similar physiques. That's what I'm saying. Like,
Mhm.
I don't know, like your perspective and Jen perspective, but what I'm looking at is like, you see, some a little differences, but not, entirely in that picture. That's what I was trying to, kind of go at a little bit.
Well, that's it. That's understand that because if you said again like this, the vision physique was supposed to be taking place in women's bodybuilding, but now in the last few years, that's the vision starting to evolve. And yes, you will see similarities in between divisions. That's why you need to have a set criteria. If
Mm.
you have those full round muscle bellies, if you're much more larger and especially in the lower half, like your quads and legs are much bigger. You look at people like Natalia Quayle, her legs not that big compared to Emily Schubert in the last couple of shows. You look at Coley Amandi. I have people saying she should go up to women's bodybuilding, but you know what? She was a fig competitor before she became a physique competitor.
You
She's
got to
still
show me a
growing.
picture of her. I don't know.
Who- well, I'm gonna do something else right here. I'm gonna do something. Just something I'm do. We have other division I'm gonna talk about real quick,
All
and that
right.
is figure. Where's the pictures here? And it's one lady who I'm a big fan of. She won this show, but she's already Olympic qualified, and that is Laura Montez. So Lola Montez. And if you look at the girls in figure, see,
Mm-hmm.
I think no, this is let me pull it up. See, no, I'm looking at bikini. It's definitely bikini. No, that's wellness. Let's
What
see.
did what I got a question. What place did Paige Sadreba
Where Paige, just say Paige. Paige took
Paige?
11. She got 11. And I think there was at least
Uh, she said
about
she might compete again.
yeah.
If she
She's
don't
about doing
feel
another
set.
show. She
Yeah.
did. Now I'm gonna pull up another division, which is a little bit like maybe early women's bodybuilding for a good part of the 80s almost, and that is figure. If you look at figure, there's some aspects where it's getting very close between the two divisions. And we have here Lola Montez who won the show. Now Lola's already Olympic qualified. She took third last year to Olympia. She did a show because she's done it last year. She wants to be competitive. I this is also like this. You're already Olympic qualified. I'm saying you want to be competitive, but you're already Olympic qualified. You just took a spot for somebody else. I don't know all the ladies from the show other than Paige and a couple of women that competed the show, but this is the top five from this show. Lola is an impressive woman physically wise. Great physique, good lines. Some say she could do women's physique, but she doesn't have all those. She has enough of those aesthetics for physique. Maybe back when physique kind of first started, maybe around about between the time of Julia Marquer and Shanique Grant. You know, but she's still, like I said, she's still undersized for that division. My man Lars says, sure, I'll show you around Canada. You're welcome. Well, like I said, brother, if I ever get a chance to get myself a passport and maybe someday that'd be something down the road, and I might shoot, I'll shoot you a line, and I might, I never know. I've always wanted to go to Canada. I know,
Yeah, I was 2 miles or 200. I mean, like 2 hours away from Canada.
mhm. Yeah, I wouldn't mind going. I just got to have some real money and a passport. Yeah, I think about. The man Roy says Roy Teresa was robbed. No, she was not robbed. She just lost. Robbery is meaning that she just didn't have enough. Hey Roy, you want to come back on? No, you're awake. You want to come on here? Just click the link. It's in the comment section. But
Yeah,
if
you
you
could
look at
take
the
my place,
girls,
Roy.
well, you said sit here and learn to listen too. But
All right.
if you look at the women in figure, they're what you want to see. These women have like maybe more muscle density than women in bikini. Like I'm gonna put up another picture here from here. We're gonna put up a couple of divisions, and I don't talk about these divisions too much. Like I said, I'll talk about figure a little more because I see aspects of figure how it's a transition division for women who are want to come up,
Lola was
especially
that chocolate girl, right?
yeah, she's Lola is I think she's from Jamaica, but she often do shows and live around Canada. Now this is wellness. Now, if you look at some of the wellness girls, their quads are bigger than most. I would say generally a lot of women in physique and women in in figure. Maybe even bigger than some women in women's bodybuilding. This one woman in the middle who won the show, she looked more like she could be. I don't know. I'm just looking for the front, but she looked more like she could be figure compared to some other women, especially around the quads. They got they're like bikini girls with a little bit of muscle and bigger booties. That's what wellness is. Now, see bikini here. We have bikini, and you look at the bikini girls. They got a bigger picture. You know, they have a good amount of muscle density. Some bikini girls could probably even do wellness if they want. But you can say the different aspects between the two divisions. I think this is who on the show. Her name is
Wellness is more bigger than bikini.
yeah, especially if you look at the legs and you look at the backside, because it's the division where it's more focused on the lower half. But
Okay.
maybe those wellness girls at one point were either figure, bikini, or even physique.
Mm.
Some I know some women who like Daphne Carter. Now she has a new name. She's done um you know wellness for a couple of times. I was
Mm.
talking to Capucine. She's supposed to be moving to wellness. It's about what those aesthetics fits for you. Body wise. My man Sean Miller says Arm Swanson looks like an open class bodybuilder. Oh yeah, he's talking about Arm Swanson, who's now her name is actually last name is now Autumn Edwards. And Autumn, and if I can pull up, she was a top level physique competitor. She's been to Olympia like 2, 3 different times in her career. She did take a switch. She took a step back and competed in I believe she competed in figure for a couple of years, but then she decided to come back. I don't know if she's really open to women's bodybuilding, Sean. She has put on some good amount of size, but I don't think her women's open bodybuilding. There's some things she still needs to work on. I'll see if I'm gonna pull up because she competed at the Omaha Pro, and that was a show where Emmy Schubert got her Olympic qualification. Now Emmy competed back in 2021, and then she took a couple years off. And she did a couple of shows this year. She did the Pittsburgh Pro in New York. She took second um now Italia twice. And the question is, she looks impressive. I think from the pictures I saw, because like I said, I think Emily became a little softer. I don't know, maybe just me. I'm not like I said, I'm
Who?
not Emily. I'm gonna pull up Emily right here.
Oh, Emily Schubert.
Yeah, she came
Okay.
in. Maybe just the lighting, or because you look at the pictures. It's the big thing for a video, because this show did not have a live stream, and she looked like she came in. I don't know. This is her with clothes on. You can see a little bit here and there. She looks really shredded. You know, up close and
I gotta
personal.
ask you a question. I'm sorry. Like, from now I've talked to like a couple of women, and they say that when they have certain amount of muscle, they feel uncomfortable sometimes.
Yeah, because you
And
get
Emily Schubert was like one of them. She was saying her thighs like she couldn't fit like certain outfits and stuff. I was wondering what's your intake on it? Or
that's the result of what you're lifting and what stuff you take in, how your body's developed. That's just one of the results of it. If there was like they understand, get into sport and become a bodybuilder, you're gonna put your body's gonna change.
right,
If you don't want it to change, then stop lifting weights, stop, taking, growth hormones, and just want to be like a regular woman. You lose a lot of muscle. Take some time to lose that muscle, but it's just part of the sport when you compete. It's one of the I would say a side effect. It's just one of one of the things that happens as you grow and develop as an athlete. Like I said again, Emily, if you saw pictures of Emily before,
yeah,
she has huge quads. She has quads. This picture right here, she has quads bigger than some women in bodybuilding. Like this one right here.
yeah.
This is where people saw these pictures here. These are just like off season, check-in pics. And
I
this is what
wouldn't
people.
mind seeing her in a skirt or something.
Well, she probably wears a skirt. She probably likes wearing skirts. It's just something you see now. People thought, okay, she should go women's bodybuilding.
Right,
Yeah, she's dense, but she's not as dense.
right.
She's still, some aspects she's still growing. And she's not that, young. She's not that old. She's like in her mid 30s. You know,
Okay.
but this is just like I said here. This is a picture here from look like from the back.
Mm-hmm.
You need to see, even though she's a lot bigger. That's one thing.
Mm.
Let's say, hey, you would think like that. It's that part in Roadhouse when anytime somebody see Dalton and said like, I thought you were bigger. That's how what people see. We see these pictures. They're thinking you're really, really big, but some of these days it's not that big.
Right.
Somewhere, there are some women who are pretty tall, more average. Some women are the average height for everyone between maybe probably between 5'3" to 5'4". Tallest I think was tallest woman I met was probably the name we do not speak,
Oh
and
yeah, your arch nemesis.
she's not an enemy of mine. Just don't speak her name. But she's a pretty tall woman, and so was Tina Oleg. It's just about how your body develops. She has that more
Yeah.
athletic build. She's not gonna get a lot of size unless she pushes, the level of whatever she needs to take to get that muscle or eat
Yeah.
more. You have to eat more too. And sometimes that's one thing ladies don't like, which is they have to eat so much they want to get more size. But
Mm.
Emily has a pretty physique. Like I said, she's still developing. How she do it at Olympia, whew, it's tough to say. You
Yeah.
know, and like I said, where's the pictures? I was gonna see put the pictures from I think I was gonna say Don Swanson. They said, let me see if I can find Autumn. See,
So
let me see.
like her by her going to the Olympia, like she's an official pro.
But she's been pro already. It's just she's going
Okay.
to Olympia. She's been pro
Uh,
for about last couple of 2 or 3 years
so why
now.
she didn't go? She had to compete in this
Where you have to
for.
compete in to get to Olympia, you have to qualify by winning the show.
All
If
right.
you win
All
the
right.
show, you qualify the Olympia.
Okay.
If you don't win the show, you don't qualify the Olympia. When you only time you become a pro is when you win a pro qualifier. That's how you break it down. You're an NPC, you're an amateur. To become a
Okay.
pro, you have to win a pro qualifier, something like nationals, North Americans, something like the Olympia amateurs. Once you
Right.
win those pro qualifiers, you are a pro.
Okay.
Now, I know some ladies who will sit out a year or two and then they make their pro debut.
Okay.
Emily, she already competed in Olympia before. That was 2021. She hadn't competed for almost 3 years, almost almost 2 years, and she decided to compete this year. There's talk that she might skip next year and come back in 2025. I don't know. You don't want to sit out too
Yo,
long.
when I be talking to these ladies, man, some of them it's really it's kind of like it's a lot to take in, like it's just I don't know, because this last one I was talking with, so I didn't really know so much about her, I just seen like some of her interviews, and and like some questions I asked, it was probably somebody already said it, like how, like what got you started in bodybuilding, and she explaining all this stuff, and you know I should have, I wish I'd have had asked more questions about like sponsors and all that stuff, but I didn't really get too deep into that. I'm just
Well, I
kind of,
guess you're just still learning. You just also think there's always jump into social media. You can find something. They usually post a lot of stuff most of the time, or you can go YouTube. You're on YouTube. All you gotta do is put in search your name, and some of them will have videos. Some of them have YouTube channels. It's just
yeah.
about researching. We just saw this. This is from my man Roy saying Teresa is heartbroken. I feel bad for her. Well, you know what? There's still more opportunities for her to qualify for Olympia. You still have Chicago coming up, I think, the end of this month. You have Atlanta coming up, and you have Tampa coming up. So if she can do, or also, I can't forget the Portugal Pro and also the Europa show in Spain. But more likely, Teresa's not going to do the shows out of the country. She's going to rather stay in the backyard. If she did, and then last year she didn't apply for uh, the Rising Phoenix, and I was surprised by that. She's not even on the list. She didn't apply for this year, and I was surprised that Teresa. The last couple of years she's been usual suspect, but now she hasn't competed the Rising Phoenix the last couple of years. And also if as long as Andrew's competing there, you're not getting qualification for Olympia at the Rising Phoenix. It's just how it is. Especially if other people who are already qualified for shows there. I think his thing is I don't know. Like if Miley doesn't win a show or Michaela doesn't win a show, then maybe they should give second runner up the spot for qualification. But technically, you're supposed to give it to the first to the winner. But with
Mm.
the current champion there, it's no good. It's just something. It's just no good. Um. Also, this is my man Lar. In off season, she looks insane. Yeah, and that's the thing. With off season, you're a lot more dense. You hadn't really dried out. You hadn't really, you're not in the conditioning. It's competitive season. Everybody looks big in off season, but
Mm.
once you push out the excess water, cut back on your carbs, and come in and more conditioned and vascular, you drop some size. You look different compared to off season, and then you put on the lotion, you put on the tanning and the oil, and everything is just different, especially when the lights hits it. Also, my man Lars says yes, some are good at taking pictures to advantage size, and some are not that tall and looks more tiny than they look compared to others. They can they can look smaller even if they're taller. Yeah, that's thing is like I said with the thing what I said about Dalton. They said I thought you were bigger. But
Mm.
I'll pull up this like I said as I said earlier. I think Sean talked about um you know uh Autumn Edwards. It's Autumn Edwards. Autumn Swanson Edwards. Now I said Autumn used to compete back in the day. She competed, been a pro for a long time. She's been to Olympia like at least 2 or 3 times during her career, and then she took a step back and started doing figure. And she made her return, I think, back to women's physique. And from the pictures I see here, this is from the Omaha show. She's really, yeah, she look like she has put on a good amount of size compared to when she was competing in figure. I'll pull it up here quick. I think just saw that uh Dave at Female Body Forum just did an interview with her just right after she actually did Omaha.
Oh yeah, I seen some of that. Yeah, I was
Yeah,
watching some of that.
yeah, I was watching. I think I watched Glitch a little bit, but I had to go do something today. I had to go do my laundry. But really see, yeah, she has put on a good amount of size. I think she had competed in figure since I think 2021 or 2022. I think 2021. And she's actually put on a little more density. Could she go to his open bodybuilding? She's over 40. Maybe give her another year or two. She want to put on more size, maybe. But I think she's comfortable where she is now because she wasn't do too well in figure because she's been to Olympia at least 2 or 3 times in women's physique. But that was around about I think 2014, 2015. When the division was still kind of young. And she's one of you might say she's one of the pioneers of the division. She's put I think there's a picture here where, I think it says how would an old school physique competitor 100% like Autumn fare in today's climate. She is all she might fare well. I mean, depending she do the right show. I think, the Omaha show was probably her. I feel like her was the best bet because I think she took fifth at the show in Omaha. And she looks pretty impressive, especially being in her being in her mid 40s, you know, put out a good amount of muscle density. I think she's gonna have that. She almost has that, you know, look that they want to see. She has that more tapering way. See, look at you look at this picture right here where she's doing her front double. You
Yeah.
see she has a good amount of lat development. You see how from the lats it gets a little smaller. It gets smaller in the waist. She has good size in the quads. She's not too big but not too small. Look at her arms and her shoulders. Good development, good physique.
Yeah.
You can't help but notice the breasts because they're all shiny and buffed out. But she looks pretty impressive for a woman her age.
Yeah.
Good, look good, condition in the back, good, good glute development. Maybe the calves are not as, so, but she did pretty good. Hadn't competed in physique for almost, I think, 4 or 5 years, doing figure, and now coming back up to physique. Would she go? How well would she do in women's open? Mm, she still need to put on more size. Maybe another 10 pounds. Maybe might help her out, and she probably can get that 10 pounds more because, like I said, she's much older. Her metabolism is slowed down a bit, and
How
usually,
old is she? Like 40 something? Like
yeah, she's in
48?
she's in the mid 40s.
Okay.
So when you hit that age, when you hit 40s, I can tell you that now, your metabolism slows down. You can put on a lot more size because your body's not burning as much as you used to. Even if you're working out, you're still not going to burn as much metabolism when you're younger. You're not as when you're like about 10, 12 years old. You can run all day, do this all night, and then
Yeah,
by
I'm
the
in
time
my
you,
40s. I'm not in my late 40s.
yeah, I'm in my late 40s too. And but when you start hitting closer to your 20s, you still have a good amount of energy and hit such your 30s. But after you hit 30,
Yeah.
close to 35, that's when your
Right.
metabolism really slows down. And
Yeah.
then when you get into your 40s, into your mid 40s, that's when it's just, because your body's not burning energy like it used to when you're younger. And with that, I think that might be her advantage here that she's a little bit older. I would say to her, do one of these master shows come out. There's the master championship. Do women's bodybuilding, see how you do. And if you feel like you say like, let me take another year off, pull a size, do like with Sherry Priam, because Sherry is just 47. I think Sherry just turned 47, 48 last month, and you really see how her body has changed. Because like I said again, she's much older, her metabolism has slowed down.
Yeah.
I saw some ladies who just who I follow. I think Renee Marvin, I think she's in her early 40s, maybe late 30s. She says she put on a pound more of size. Um, Andrea Sauer, who I know, she put on 5 more pounds, and Andrea, she's in her mid 40s. It's a lot easier for these women when they're much older. They can really put on a little more size because they have a slower metabolism. That's why as soon as women start hitting their peak, like you
Mm.
look at someone like Hel Trevino, Margie Martin, even you look at Andrea, and Andrea's not even 40 yet. She's gonna be, I think she's gonna be 40 this year.
You talking about the GOAT?
Yeah, basically 40 this year.
Oh,
Yeah, because she didn't win the Olympics till she was like I think 36, 37. Yeah, that's been about 3 years ago.
mm,
But yeah, if she can put on maybe a few more pounds of muscle, and I would say test the, she's a mom,
yeah.
she got kids, and also like I said, it could also affect you because if you get pregnant, it does change your body chemistry in some ways.
Mm.
Yeah. So but yeah, it's all depending on where she want to fits in.
So in other words, like somebody competing, it kind of affects them, like when they have kids a bit.
Well, 'cause, some ladies they step away from the sport, and then like I know with Melanie Horton, she stepped away from the sport. She competed in a good part of like she last competed back in '99 in women's bodybuilding. She stepped away, had her kids, came back. And, it does preseason can affect how your bodies looks because especially you have kids, it affects your abdominals. If you
Right.
don't already have great abs, a strong core, it could affect how you look. I mean, there's only a couple women I know who were who had got pregnant and was still like in competitive level. That is Alicia Young and Shannon Seeley. Many
Mm,
others either had their kids before or some had their kids after, but generally not too many. Only a handful I know of. Usually, if any woman who gets pregnant, it's usually the girls on the low end, like figure or bikini or maybe wellness. My man Laura says that he says that she's 42. He said he says me 42. So yeah, well
mm,
you still a young man 42, and says yes. Many bodybuilders are at the peak in their early 40s. Right? Yeah, and even mid 40s. Yeah, because like I said, when your body's still like saying your body's metabolism slows down, you can put on more muscle. You can put on more size, and because muscle weighs more than fat, it can be you can take that whatever fat you have in you can take and melt it and change it because your body has a little extra and just you have more to work with than when you're someone younger. If you look at some of these girls who do figure, who still kind of lean and like, still not as much size because they still hadn't put on the size to have really anything to work with. Like, somebody said that they would like to do this division, but they say like I'm still a bit small for that division. That's why they do like either something like figure or physique. But
mm,
then when your body starts getting older and you put on the extra weight, you have more materials to work with to build your muscle. You know, and like I said, it takes fat to make muscle.
mm.
My man Lars says, thanks. You're welcome, brother. But for the from the Ultimate show, I think it's let me see if I can find some pictures from that show. Uh I know Emily won that show. I see who placed. See, I see. I think I can go NPC News Online. It should have it. You know, let's see. Midwest. There we go. Midwest NBC. Uh, thought they would have it. My guess. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Here we go. We have all yes because it's a pro am show. So let's see. I just see mostly just the amateurs here. Share the pro part. Might have to go to NBC News Online for the pro part. Let me see. Let me pull it up. See, I know Emily won that show, and let's see. Uh, they don't have the pictures from it. And I know Emily won that show. One person who I thought was place of a hire was Ann Harris. Let me see if I can pull up her Ann Harris. I think this is a good example of a woman who looks like she might fit better in there we go in probably figure
Mm.
than physique because I think she's a little tall. I saw a picture with her and Sarah Vigorstein together, and she competed at the St. Louis show. It's an example of somebody who I think should never get too much bigger, and and I think she took third this show. That's Anna
Okay.
Harris. Now,
All right.
Anna, she earned her pro card at the on amateur show in 2021. That same year, she earned her first Olympic qualification. Now, last year she knew too good. She placed at a couple of shows, had enough points where she probably could have done the Olympia by points, but she didn't. I believe she reached from Mexico. There's a
Yeah.
picture of her with it's somewhere on here because I pull it up. There's a picture of her with Jessica Dia Reyes. Now Anna, she's still a bit. This is a good example where there's a difference. How Anna has a good amount of lat development. She has that tapering waist. I think she has issues right here in the midsection because she might have had kids, and look like she has stretch marks. That's why she has
Mm.
tattoos there. And
Yeah.
sometimes I think tattoos might hurt you a bit. She has a good physique. She's very attractive, very appealing. You know,
Yeah.
this is a video of her, and this is where it looks like if it you wouldn't think she's physique. She's closer to figure. Look at the back. And,
Mm.
she has much wider back. She has a tapering look. Look at the glutes. Not as much mass, but good amount of size.
And
You
she's
know,
physique. She's
she's physique. But
okay.
if you look at her, especially she has long legs.
Okay.
She could be figure if she wanted. She might have to pull back maybe 4 or 5 pounds worth of muscle. But if you look at the girls in physique now, I mean
Right.
figure now, she's not too far. Like there's a picture of her. Let me see if I can find it. I'm on here on her, you know, on her IG here. It's just like just posing. She's doing a little posing for the show.
Was
You
she
know,
second place? Was she
no, she was
like
third. She was third in
third?
Omaha. Third,
All right.
and I think
That's
she
not too
was.
bad.
Yeah, it's not too bad. But like I said, it doesn't mean much. You get some money, but you don't get with the point system's gone.
Oh,
This is the show where she took third at. I think this is she second or third. No, I think she took second here at the Ultimate Classic. That's the winner right there. That's the lady who won the Toronto show. That's Mimi, and that's Yaris. She's in the United States military, and you
mm,
can see how much bigger, just slightly bigger, is uh you know uh Elena compared to Anna, and how much way bigger she is to someone like Mimi and Martek, and even compared to Yaris. Yaris, you can see she has a good amount of lat development. She
yeah.
could go wins. She's a little shorter, and really with women who are more shorter and more compact, they can really put on a good amount of muscle. But I don't think she want to push that next level. Where's that picture? It should be on here because I know she posted it. It's a picture with her, and it thought it'd be on here. There it is. It should be two pictures now. If you don't know these women, and if you look at them now, Jessica Benitez Reyes is figure. Anna is physique. Now, if you look at right here around the shoulders and her traps, you can really see there's a big difference. But if you didn't know
You
and
see
just
a little difference. You see a little. I see a little difference.
yeah, this is a good example where you can tell the difference between two divisions. Like you
Right.
look around about on the shoulders and look at and at her trap right there,
Yeah.
in the shoulders,
Okay.
and her delts. And to see Jessica, even though some say she just should go up to figure, we look closely, she doesn't have those big shoulders, those big muscle
Yeah.
belts. You
Right.
know, but there was another picture of them on here. I don't think she has it on here. Let me check. It's she did like a photo session with um. I thought she did. There was that other picture. I don't see it. It's not on here. And there's on Jessica. Wait a minute. If I can click on Jessica Reyes, I think she should have. Let's see. Let me see. Where I thought she would have it. So usually she has. There she is. Jessica Reyes. All right. We click here, and she had that same picture together. Another picture of them together. I think they did two pictures together. Let's see. Let me see. Let me see. Let me see. Should be. All right. Like I said, you look at Jessica right here.
Mm.
Just you with if like I said, just for this picture alone. This is just off season. She's in good condition. This maybe was between shows last year. You would think she was physique. Not thinking she's figured.
Okay.
Even she has good width, whether she has good lat development. Look at her shoulders. You know, was
Why I'm gonna ask a silly question. Why they made a figure like over the
well,
years?
where figure came from is that back in the day there was only one point there was only two divisions, for women's bodybuilding. There was fitness and there was women's bodybuilding.
Okay.
And a lot of the women didn't want to do all the jump around, chicken sweat, and
Yeah.
and fitness. Bikini came in, I think, a little bit after that, and then they wanted a division for women who said, you know what, we still want to be on stage. We want to be like they want to be like somebody between bikini and women's bodybuilding, but they didn't want to do all that jump around like you do in
Yeah, I
figure.
remember that time. Like they was doing that. Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, so they had that picture of her, I guess, because
Yeah.
she has a lot of pictures, but yeah, they was trying to find something. That's where figure came about. And
Okay.
but if you look at it now, figures now more or less a transition division. It's division for those women who just, they are like this. Okay, you're a bikini competitor, but you start getting those getting more muscle development. You're getting more of those aesthetics. But you can't
Mm.
stay in bikini any longer. You're getting more striations in the glutes. You're getting more, size. So you go up to figure. That's where you at. Figure you still get to work the high heels. But then even figure you start to grow and get bigger and larger. So back then before they had physique, you had to go to women's bodybuilding. Like people like I think Margie did figure before she went to women's bodybuilding.
Yeah.
Monique Jones did figure before she went to bodybuilding. I know Donna Salee, she was figure before she went to women's bodybuilding. And then here comes physique. Here comes physique, the new division that comes in. It's like a divisions in between women's bodybuilding and figure. Now, for those
Mm.
women who might want to do fitness, that's up to them. But they may not want to do all the jumping around and stuff like that. So that's what
Yeah.
figure comes in. Figures now is that new transition division now, where okay, you're coming up from bikini, go to figure. Then
How
you,
long it been? How long it came out? Like because I wasn't following female bodybuilding like all the time like that.
well, I think figure came in around about the early 2000s.
Oh, okay. Yeah, maybe I was still.
You didn't really
Yeah.
pay attention to it that much because it was one of the high heels. You thought it was more like bikini. I think
Yeah.
it was around about it came in maybe right before bikini got picked up because bikini been around for a long time, but it wasn't brought to bodybuilding until later.
Okay.
Yeah, because you go back to the day you used to have bikini was popular like someplace like you go to Fort Lauderdale, they had the little girls wearing the bikinis and to get money for beer money or try to get back home from spending
Mm.
all their money down at Fort Lauderdale. Or I remember used to be a show used to come on. Used to be just a show bikini girls. Back then the girls were like just about anything, but now the it has been refined. It's more like pageant than it is. It's kind
Yeah.
of like it's like Miss America or Miss USA. Just cut out the old dress and all those part of it and just have the bikini part. That's what that is.
Mm.
But the figure really kind of spun off from fitness because
Okay.
fitness they had the routines and they had this and that and they didn't want to do all the routine stuff. Just cut that out. Just have the girls in the bathing suits and high heels.
Mhm.
So right now, figure is like a transition division
I
where
got you.
now it used to be you can go to the physique, and now you have a choice. You can go up to physique or go. I won't say go down, kind of go sideways and do wellness.
Yeah.
And there's someone who have went to like I saw there's one lady who was competing at Toronto show. Her name is Jody Boone. Jody used to be a top level fitness competitor. She done the Olympia, quite a few times at fitness. But because of injury, she stopped doing fitness and started doing physique for half a minute. And now she came out of her, she had a kid some years ago. I think about a couple years ago. This is her first show she hadn't competed in maybe 3, 4 years like that, and she did figure instead of doing fitness or physique because she wasn't that big of a woman. Let me see if I can pull her up.
Jody
See,
Boone.
yeah, Jody Boom, I think should be a picture of her. See, Boom.
She could have
See,
brand her name with that. Boom.
she probably did, but like this is about people who wanna. There we go. All right. See. Well, she posted anything. Let me see. Check her story. Yeah. Oh yeah. Jody took third at the show. Yeah.
Recently?
Yeah, she was at Toronto. That's what so that's where she
Uh,
came back at Toronto.
uh,
And she took third. Yeah. It's like pretty much the same picture. I didn't really recognize her because, like I said, I only saw a few pictures of her here and there. I did a video about her a while back,
right.
and see that's Jody right there in between Lola and the other lady, and Jody took third.
Which
That's
one?
pretty good.
Like in a
See, you see Lola Montez right here, the black girl. You see the
okay.
lady right there. Yeah, she's right there
Use
in
the
the.
mouse. Use the mouse to if you can.
Okay, I'm using the mouse on the StreamYard. Let me use the mouse on here. I hear Jody's right here.
Okay. Okay.
All right. Yeah, because I only have one screen. If I had two screens like a computer like that, I usually can look at one screen. But yeah, I forgot. So yeah, but yeah,
Uh,
Jody's right there. She's in between Lola and the other lady, and she took third. That's pretty good. Hadn't competed for almost maybe 3 or 4 years,
okay.
and she has no, she had a kid a while back. This was, I think, her last Olympia.
Oh yeah,
Uh,
okay. I seen her before on Instagram. Yeah, yeah. She got a nice physique. Yeah.
this guy,
The name I know the face because I'll be browsing through Instagram and stuff. But
yeah.
the names, it don't be retaining me like that. Like just certain people. But yeah, man. Look, man. I appreciate you with this, man, because it's a lot, man.
Yeah.
I gotta take care of things. But
Okay.
thanks.
Alrighty. Well, I appreciate you coming through. I hope I'm glad I
Yeah,
educate you a bit.
yeah, yeah. You did. Yeah. I'm still learning, man. But
Best
you
thing
know,
is learning's half the battle.
yeah.
Well, like I said, thank you again.
Uh,
Man, Laura, he just dropped this. Says, the Lord said, I took four women. He goes just like this. He says, I took four pics with Jody Boone 4 different years. Oh yeah, okay. So how well you know Jody? I mean, we might do the interview with her if she ever interested. I might reach out. She just did a first show since I think 2019. You know, he also says she coached an Asian woman from Toronto. Now there is a nice video on YouTube. Okay, but she came back. Like I said, this is Jody here at the figure, and she was physique for half a minute, went back to fitness, and now she's doing figure. I think it's probably a good move for her, especially she's getting older. I know she has some injuries, and those injuries probably forces decided, no, not forces decided that she might be better off in. She ain't gonna get any bigger for she's not gonna because now where physique is going, she's too small for physique, and I don't think she want to do all the jumping around and hopping around in figure. So now I mean, in fitness. So now she's doing figure. So that's probably a good move for her. So, folks, I like to say like this, man. It was the pictures hadn't really come out yet because, like I said, I believe that someone see the pictures for the Toronto Pro, and usually it'd be the Manions because they know when they did the pictures for New York, boom, they were done that same day, and there's other shows because New York, Pittsburgh. I don't know. I think I remember was it the Vancouver Island show. Those pictures like took about 3 or 4 days before we saw them. Last year. I know this year somebody took a pictures of it. I don't know. It just I don't know, but it looked like they're both for decent shows, and they're both all amazing ladies. I mean, what's the best for them? But I might reach out to Miss Boone, maybe do an interview with her. She'd be my second fitness competitor, for fitness competitor, but you know. But I thank everybody for coming through. My man, Jen, the Hannah the Emperor, my man KLA, thank you for coming through. Also, I think Roy, Lar, Charlotte Millen, my man Marcus Bell, for coming through. I appreciate the likes, I appreciate respect. Like I said, support these women's sport of bodybuilding. If you can't go to shows, buy the live stream. You can't afford the live stream, hey, somebody who wants to go half and half on live stream, y'all can bootleg it or something. But I think women's bodybuilding need all the support, even if it's divisions like I would say most definitely women's bodybuilding, figure, and physique. They really need the help. Wellness and bikini, they do fine on their own. That's why I don't talk about too much of it. I mean, maybe like I said, we might do some interviews with some more women in those divisions. But as you know, my channel is about women's bodybuilding. But even though they're part of women's bodybuilding, in my mindset, they're not really women's bodybuilding, but it's still part of it. But I'd like to thank y'all for coming through. Thank you for support. I hope everything going well with you and y'all. This is the first video for the first of the month. We're already the first full week of June. We got some shows coming up, I believe, at the end of the month. For Chicago's coming at the end of the month, and I think around about July is the Atlanta show and Tampa. And we have some other shows too. I think Portugal about that time too. I hope maybe next year. Maybe next year they bring back women's bodybuilding at Omaha, or also maybe we get some more promoters stepping up and give women's bodybuilding an opportunity. It's a very thin year for some competitors. Some ladies are going to have a time to get qualification, but there's so few chances. Now we don't have Pittsburgh. I mean, we don't have Portugal. We don't have Puerto Rico. We don't have Savannah. Got kicked out of Brazil. Got kicked out of Omaha. It's going to be a tough year. So maybe I will say like this: if you're someone out there who is a fan of women's bodybuilding, who feel like you have the money, if you have money to spend on sessions and want to wrestle some of these women, you can put up like $5,000. You can get with another 4 or 5 guys, get enough money, and maybe talk to a promoter, pay the sanctioning fees, and maybe help women's bodybuilding have a stage. I know some important you say, yeah, you want to make money back off of it, but if you're rich enough, you can write it off in your taxes. Anyway, it's me, Always George Page, aka the Emperor of Female Bodybuilding Talk. Don't like, subscribe. I am out.